So I was really interested in kind of the impermanence of memories and of what we imagine the past to be. And so I moved back home and I was living here full time. And I was just noticing all this activity around me. So I was thinking about my own family's history and kind of I grew up in New York. I've lived here my whole life, but so many of my family was moving around. And I had a ton of stuff that belonged to my grandmother, to my father's mother. And I was thinking kind of about her and not really getting to know her that well, and all of her stuff that I kind of became the bearer of. And then also thinking about kind of place and where we make homes and how we make homes. And for me, feeling kind of like reinvigorated to make Harlem home for me, and the ways that I can do that. And then also kind of a tension there about feeling like this place has so much history and what's going on, what's under the surface. In a lot of ways change is good, and it's revitalizing, but in another way, what are we paving over? What are we losing? What are we missing? All the stuff is the stuff that wasn't of any real value to anyone else. So a lot of the sentimental stuff, like some of the photographs and a lot of the jewelry, that stuff is just kind of, I don't really own it. I'm holding on to it. But I found like a radio and I found all these records. One of my favorite things that my grandmother owned is this suitcase, this custom suitcase with her initials on it. So for me, I guess it's kind of not that valuable as just an object. It's kind of just the banal, everyday stuff that folks have. But I'm so in love with it because it was hers, or it was theirs. My other grandparents have some items they picked up when they traveled. So it's kind of a way for me to connect with them when they were younger, and a lot of the stuff from my grandfather is stuff that I imagine him with, but I never met him, so I don't have that personal memory. So I guess in a way I'm kind of making them up, kind of writing the memories that I don't have, through the things that I imagine them using or having in their house. And the way of working too, kind of putting all these things out and thinking about their relationship to each other and where they may have been in the house. Like, was this on display or was this in a back closet? What kind of meaning do I have as someone who knew whose stuff it was, when really the stuff itself is yard sale stuff, That would be the stuff that got sold first. So that's my interest in it. So most times I've got all the stuff in my room or over the apartment, and I'm thinking about each object and kind of what it means to me, but also the ways that it can speak to the other objects. So I have like my Discman, which I feel like really wants to talk to this record that I imagine my grandmother taking out and playing at a party or something. Some of the things I imagine together in the house, and then I walk around with them, usually in my cart, and I'll walk around and find the spot, and then the spot will tell me which objects want to talk to each other. So I do a lot of thinking before I'm working and I'm outside, and then when I'm there with the camera, I'm not thinking at all. I'm just kind of moving around, putting these things together, seeing what's kind of apparent, what these things want to say to each other. But before I leave, I'm picking and choosing which objects to take with me on that walk before I leave. And sometimes the objects dictate where they want to be, but other times I've found this spot and I'm waiting and waiting for this perfect group of objects that wants to be there. Well, I do a lot of walking anyway, so when I'm walking, sometimes I'll see a place that really needs I think about it, lingers in my mind. I think about it, and I go back home and I kind of imagine which objects want to talk to that place, I guess. But there are other places where I've wandered by and I'm really thinking about that place, and there's nothing I want to add to it. The places that I add to are kind of hand in hand with the places I don't touch at all. For me, the objects are kind of one half of it, and that's the personal, autobiographical kind of who am I made up of? Who are these people that I know or I didn't meet, and what is their stuff telling me about their stories and about how I inform my own story? So for me, Harlem is, it's at once this famous place that everyone knows about, right? But it's also just these streets and these people and these stories that maybe don't make it into those history books, and in the way I imagine those family stories can get lost. And for me, I really wanted to be here and really be here and be kind of grounded in this neighborhood and these stories that I was kind of trying to get. So to be an artist working in this neighborhood is really, really special to me. I'm always thinking about who walked here before, and I guess I'm working through those thoughts and feelings as I'm working outside on the street.